Good evening. I'd like to call the order for the meeting of the City of Waterville City Council for Monday, June 9th, 2025 to order. And in doing so, I'd ask Councilmember Todd Borowski to lead us in the prayer.
Loving God, as we come together tonight for the City of Waterville, we pause to ask you to be with us and guide our way. May your spirit of peace surround all we say and do this evening. We ask for your strength to do what is best for the good of Waterville. Lord God, as servants of your people, we pray that you grant us a share of your wisdom. Amen.
Amen. And I would ask Councilmember John Rozek, along with Mr. Conrad, if you could please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I would ask our clerk to go with roll call.
Here.
Here.
Mayor Pico.
Here.
Mr. Wagner.
Here.
Mr. Rozek.
Here.
Mr. Bruno.
Here.
Thank you. Tonight we have some exciting announcements to make, some news. In addition to awarding some scholarship to some well-deserved students here in our local district. And I'm going to invite the Fire Association, if they'd like to stand and make those comments. Mr. Grogan, if you please go to the podium. And then I'm sure we'll have some other comments when we're done, okay?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens of Waterville. My name is Bob Grogan, and I'm here representing the Waterville Fire Association. Myself and Keith Mosman have served as the committee chairman for the Waterville Association Scholarships for 2025. Every year, the Waterville Fire Association forms a committee, and we vet several applicants and award scholarships based on academic achievement, community work, volunteerism, and work ethic. The Waterville Fire Association has its own scholarship, and we are the caretakers of the Carl Conrad Scholarship. The Carl Conrad Scholarship is a tribute to Carl Conrad, who was the fire chief for the Waterville Fire Department, a member of the Waterville Fire Association, a patriot, and a pillar in our community. Tonight we have the Carl Conrad family here with us tonight. Jim Conrad is here tonight. Jody Schoenfeld and Mike Schoenfeld is here tonight representing the family of Carl Conrad. Tonight I am honored to present the Carl Conrad Scholarship and the Waterville Fire Association scholarships for the amount of $800 per scholarship. Tonight I'd like to ask the recipient of the Carl Conrad Scholarship, which is Jocelyn Haas, if you'd like to come up. Thank you very much. The first recipient of the Waterville Fire Association Scholarship is Mile Krogalski. Was I good? All right. And he's going to be attending BGSU. Miles, congratulations. Thank you. And lastly, the recipient of the Waterville Fire Association Scholarship is Sophia Snyder. She's going to be going to Kentucky. Congratulations. With that, I'd like to thank all the applicants that did go, and all these applicants were great. It was very hard vetting these because every student that we have in Anthony Wayne School District are awesome, and I thank each and every one of you for applying. Thank you. Thank you, Council.
May we invite these recipients to the podium, please?
Absolutely.
Jocelyn, we'll go with you first. Just to tell us your name and a little bit about your activities in school and what do you want to do next year.
I'm Jocelyn Haas. I work at Bigby, and I did soccer and track, and I'll be attending Ohio State next year and majoring in pharmaceutical sciences.
And Sophia? Ladies first, Sophia. That's all right.
I'm Sophia Snyder. I was involved in DECA in high school, and I'll be attending the University of Kentucky and majoring in marketing.
Go Cats.
And Miles.
Rogalski. I've been in the marching band for 4 years. I will be attending Bowling Green State University and majoring in pre-law.
Good. Congratulations. And I would invite council, if you want to make a comment, starting with Mr. Bruno.
Congratulations to you guys. It sounds like you said you're going to BG. You're somewhat staying in the community, but maybe you guys will come back to Waterville one day. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats to everyone that got the scholarship. I'm sure it was very tough choices, and you guys obviously came in first in the field, so congrats. Yeah, good luck in your future endeavors, and it's school.
I agree. Congratulations, and hopefully we will see you back.
Well, I'll say congratulations again. Great work, all that hard work. You're realizing the fruits of the work, and now you only have 4 more years, or 5 or 6 or 8 more years to continue. So all the best to all of you.
Pre-law guys are probably going to be in school a little longer. Right. Takes a little longer than 4 years, right? Congratulations. From council, we are always happy to have this evening. This is always a special, special night when we give out these scholarships. We're not giving them out, but we always feel like we are. But congratulations. We know you worked really hard, and come back to Waterville. We need your talent.
So again, congratulations. We also want to thank the Fire Association for taking time to start these programs years and years ago, the Conrad family for establishing that scholarship many, many years ago in honor of Carl. And then to the students, just a suggestion, not a demand, just a suggestion. In about 3 months, middle of August, you'll be packing your bags, if you haven't already, getting ready to go to school. And you're going to have all your clothes and your, all the things you need, your notebook cards, your computer. I ask you to go to the post office and buy some stamps. Like they're $7 for I don't know how many you get. But I know you'll be texting and emailing your mom and dad, but send them a note once in a while. That goes a long way. So with that, I congratulate you, and you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but you probably got some photos outside you're going to do. So one more round of applause.
Go get your picture taken. Good to see you. Take the pictures by the fire truck.
All right, next on our agenda tonight, we have the pleasure of having Waterville Rotary Club member Jeff Baden and Brenda Mossing to come up and give us a little update on the great things that they do for our community. And I might add, I know a little bit about Rotary. It originated in Chicago, Illinois, many, many years ago. But Waterville, Ohio is one of the oldest, smallest club in the world. That's pretty cool for Waterville, Ohio. With that, Brenda and Jeff, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, for inviting us to talk. My name is Jeff Baden. Just an introduction. I moved to White House about 25 years ago, so I've been in the community. I joined the Waterville Rotary Club shortly after that, so about 20 years ago. Have been involved in the community. I'm on the school board now for the last 9 years, so I think it's a great organization. We just wanted to talk a little bit about what we do and what it is to get you guys acquainted and let everybody know that you're welcome to join also as part of this community event. So Rotary, we were one of the first small clubs. It was a pilot project. So we're 97 years old. The Rotary International is about 110 years old. So we started fairly soon after the originally started. And there's Rotary clubs all around the world. Every town you go into, if I travel overseas, I can pull up my app and see when they're having a Rotary meeting and walk into the meeting, and everybody will welcome you and say, "Hey, you're a Rotary guy from Waterville, Ohio." So it's a really neat international organization, but it's really got its roots in the local community and all the projects that we do. We have a meeting every single week. We meet at Sean's for dinner. We're a dinner club. There's some breakfast clubs, lunch clubs. And we've got about 25 or 30 people in our club that are all community leaders in different organizations. It used to be very specific to, they wanted like one representative in every industry. You know, you could only have one banker and one finance guy and one, now it's just kind of anybody. It's a big community of networking. We meet every Monday night at Sean's, and then we have a little speaker. We have we sit down at the meal. We have a speaker where we take turns bringing somebody in, talking about a community event, a business, an organization, a charity. We learn something every meeting about somebody in the community or abroad that comes in and speaks. Tonight, we actually had one of our own members who went to Belize on behalf of Rotary to distribute computers in schools out in the middle of nowhere, and he talked about his experience through Rotary for that.
And medical supplies.
And medical supplies. So I'm going to turn it over to Brenda. We've got a whole list of stuff that we do in the community. Some you'll recognize of past projects and current.
Yeah, in addition, you might recognize Interact. That's also a Rotary community in the high school. And Anthony Wayne, I mean, right? High five on that. We have like, last year was what, 200 kids? There were so many involvement. And they participate and volunteer in the communities that we cover. Like Jeff was saying, we're Anthony Wayne at large, but we're Waterville location. So with that being said, we do have fundraisers, and that's one of the reasons we're talking today. We have beer brats. What is it? Blues, yeah. Blues, brews, and brats. I always screw it up. And it's our 10th anniversary, so we kind of wanted to touch on that. And that is a fundraiser, but that fundraiser is to provide scholarships to high school students. We do something called the 4-way test, which is encouraging the high schoolers to put service above self, and they actually do a speech towards that and how it applies to their life. We have benches around town, and I'm sure you sat on one of them. We get pencils out in the parades. We're going to do Cherry Fest this year, and of course we do Roast a Boot, which is the favorite. We used to do dictionaries, but computers kind of replaced dictionaries. We used to do dictionaries for 3rd graders forever.
Yes, to all the elementary schools.
Yeah, I mean, I've been here 13 years, and I mean, we just stopped a couple years ago. But then we have a youth foundation, the Anthony Wayne Youth Foundation, that we actually have events coinciding with them. Fishing derby, I know that is with you and I combined. I mean, you and us combined to make a fishing derby for the different children, ages, I don't know.
Yeah, give away some bikes. Yeah, a lot of local sponsors.
Yeah, right, it is. Nature's Nursery, some Cub Scouts. We really give back to the community in different ways. But I wanted to share that, again, I said it's the 10th annual, and we have our website, our BB&B website is up, and it looks fabulous, so hopefully you'll be able to check that out. And it is
Saturday,
July 26th. I almost said 24th. So we're going to be selling tickets, but we would love to incorporate you into our BB&B also. So, tell everybody about it. We're going to be wearing our t-shirts around town at the Cherry Fest and the various events. Any questions for us?
And if you'd like to work at that event too, you can sign up and volunteer. So Blues and Brews, it's a major fundraiser that we've, over the last few years, I mean, these are like national blues bands that are coming now. We get people from across several states away to come to this and block off that downtown. So it's a huge event, and what it's really going towards, the money that goes into our foundation. So we've got a goal to reach $100,000, and I think we're comfortably there to get that $100,000 by our 100th anniversary. And the goal is to donate that somehow or some way in some form within the communities that we have, whether it be a park naming or a large something in the communities, because that's what we give back to. And that's a large donation to someone or something. It hasn't really been named yet. We have a separate committee working on that because we have a couple of years yet, but that's our target, and we're well on our way to get that event. So.
I mean, our large mission globally, like we were talking about, Randy, is to eradicate polio, and really giving back to international but also local.
Yeah, and along that, just really quick to wrap up, we've got so the Rotary, we have a district club too. We get district grants, so we apply for a grant that says, hey, our district has so much money, can you give back to some us? We want to have a big project. We'll partner with the town of Waterville for this supply, but we also partner with other clubs across the world to say put in a well, fresh water for a school or those kind of events along with polio. And then the Mesa is our medical supplies. Our club was one of the organizers for Mesa. There's several other people that donate to that now, but we ship containers of medical equipment that go around and collect from hospitals and dentist office and old ultrasounds that they can't use here anymore, and they donate those to the third world countries, send containers full of stuff, and we pay for all that shipping, pay for all that, and then actually send people there too to show them how to use it, everything. So it's a small reach and then a big reach, however involved you want to get. So
yeah,
that's just a little piece of the Rotary for you guys to, and if you have any questions, feel free. Yeah.
Council, I'll start with Mr. Bruno.
Thanks for coming.
No questions. Thanks for everything you guys do, and I do enjoy the blues, brats, and brews, or brews and brats every year.
I forgot my T-shirt today.
No, it's great. Yeah, you guys have a great thing going. Thank you.
Yeah. And Tim helps us out there too. He gets up and tells how wonderful Rotary is.
Sings.
At the Blues, Brews, and Brats, Todd.
We were gonna bring brats, but sneak out the place.
Wait.
I second Todd. Thanks for coming, and we look forward to it this year.
Yeah, thank you both. And what was the date again for the
July 26th.
July 26th?
Last Saturday.
Great, thank you.
In July.
Thanks for
It'll
all you
always
do.
it's always the last Saturday in July, so you can always plan that weekend forever now. So.
There you go.
And we would love you to volunteer. We have a Facebook site that you could get out onto if you'd like to volunteer that way,
Yep.
or just
Let us know.
let us know.
And Mary?
Never miss it. I never miss it.
Okay.
It's a great event. We have so much fun. I would volunteer, but I'm having too much fun.
Oh, and we forgot. I just realized we forgot the one other project is the sign, the entrance sign to
Oh, yeah.
Waterville that's out at Speedway. That was a Rotary project that we did, which we want to
Redid it.
do. We're going to update the one that's
On the trail.
coming
20
from
Old
the,
24.
from
Oh,
the-
nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll
That's about ready to fall down, so that needs to be redone. So.
So just a couple comments. So I'm glad you brought that up because we did meet a couple weeks ago, and I know that you've had some conversation with our administrators. So it's wonderful that you're taking that on. We're trying to make them branding of the different parts of the city. So maybe some tweaking, but the
Yeah.
bottom line is it's your idea, and we thank you. And then lastly, it just goes to show you all the great things that we have in Waterville, and we need to take time to have folks like you come and explain to you, because there's many, many things that you're doing behind the scenes. You mentioned Interact. I think that's impactful for high school students, and then obviously young adults. So we thank you for that. You are welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but you don't have to. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, next is approval of our minutes from our council meeting from Monday, May 12th. You've had a chance to receive those, and I would take a motion to accept the minutes from May 12th.
So moved.
So moved, Anthony Bruno, need a second?
Second?
Second, John Rozak. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, next is, we have some other folks that would like to address council, so bear with me for a moment. Scott Johns, if you'd please come to the podium, state your name and address.
Scott Johns, 1207 Applegate, Waterville. I want to touch on a topic that I know I've talked to several of you, of the council members, before about it, and I want to just trying to. This is an idea. It's more than an idea. It's something that I think we need for the future of Waterville, and part of it is the downtown, our corridor. Obviously, we got some things in the works, and we're trying to make things happen to bolster our downtown community. One of the things that has been on my heart is the storefronts that are shuttered, closed, and are used as warehouses. What I would like to ask is have our law director, Katie, get involved, and you guys meet and come up with a plan to solidify a resolution to no longer allow warehousing in our downtown corridor. Whatever that may be, however the wording may be, just from a future standpoint. I know we got a situation now with a particular family, I won't bring it up, but if we sit by and do nothing, what's to prevent it from happening again? So I would like to see some, whether it's zoning, resolution, or whatever it's called, to come in and say, we no longer will allow warehousing in our storefronts downtown, in our prime corridor. Because it's a mess. I mean, if you look at, I can tell you from the community, I'm out there, I talk to people, their biggest beef with Waterville is downtown, and you'll soon realize that in our, from a comprehensive plan that comes up there. That's going to be one of the bigger issues that comes up. So with that being said, I mean, we have these buildings down there that are just shuttered, and it's a shame. To me, it's a sin, when they could be storefronts. They could bring businesses in and help our community thrive downtown. And that's, so, and I look at these buildings, and they're not in the best of shape. I walked through downtown this morning. We went to Dale's and ate, and I was with my granddaughter. You know, the paint's peeling, and you know, they're not well maintained, let's put it that way. So, you know, we're so focused, we've been focused on this bridge that has been in demise for years, and all of a sudden it's an important issue. But if we're not careful, we're going to lose some of our other historical sites. Columbia House as a prime example. If you looked at that today, the paint's peeling off it. You can't walk around the sidewalks. Every year we got to contact the family to have them trim the bushes back. So we have an easy pass to get through. I drove by there today, and that bush is almost all the way out to the light post, and you got to walk out in the street or the grass to get around it. So I just wish there was more of an effort. I get it, they're privately owned, but there's got to be something that we can entice these owners to do something to turn this around for our community. And the fact of the matter is they don't live in the community. They live in Delta, I know. So, you know, I care about the community, and I care about our history, and I want to see it thrive. I don't plan on going anywhere. I'm here. I'm here to stay. And I want to be able to walk downtown and shop and take friends and family and neighbors or whoever comes in to see us, and, you know, just tell them how great our community is. And so I'd like to see it thrive. So I would ask that from the standpoint of that warehousing, try to work through something and get that on the books to prevent it from future, and work with the law director see how you can do that. That's all I.
All right. Thank you,
Thanks, Scott.
Scott.
All I
Thank
got.
you.
Thanks, Scott.
I would also then like to invite our next guest up, Karen Ebach, is that right?
Yeah, good job.
Oh, good.
Ebach.
Please state your name and address and your business.
So thank you for letting me speak tonight. My name is Karen Ebach. I'm at 475 South River Road here in Waterville. I have been stalking you, I guess, via the mirror on all the activities of council and what you do and how you do it. And I'm here to find out more information. In the mirror, they had mentioned that you have a vacancy that's open right now on council. I've been looking online and such to get information, but hadn't seen a whole lot, knowing that there's a backlog of when you approve minutes before they get posted on the site, of what the process is to apply for those vacancies, and recognizing you're going to have 2 more after the November elections. So I'm here to gather some information to see whether it might be a good fit.
So, so we are one vacant seat. Tony Garver ran just about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and he decided to move with his family, and that makes sense that he would have to leave his seat. So Tony Garver did send in a resignation on May 13th, and then council had 30 days from that effective date to select a candidate. We do have 5 candidates that applied, if you will. It was a simple process. They had to be a voter in the city of Waterville, had to be registered, and they sent in a letter of interest, and 4 of them are here tonight. And a little bit later on, we're going to have some conversation with them, and then we will select somebody tonight. Should council not come to a consensus, then the mayor will select somebody after the 30th date. So, and then you mentioned the 2 other vacancies. Technically, they won't become vacant until January 1, 2026. And at that time, the council that is seated will select 2 candidates to fill those seats that will be open. So you have time, if you're interested, in one of the 2 other seats that will be open up in later in the year.
So without being a spoiler for the people who are talking later, are there certain things that you are hoping to get out of those candidates, skills, knowledge, things along those
So
lines?
the charter is not indicative exactly you have to have these qualifications. They just say you got to have lived in the city for 2 years and be a registered voter. Now, in a general election, the citizens elect the mayor and council. They hand us the authority then to exercise these other ordinances and resolutions, including appointing an open seat. So it's incumbent upon the 6 of us to select that next person. You may have heard in our prayer, we ask that your strength to do what is best for the good of Waterville. And that's what I think tonight you're going to see. Our council is going to pick from the best and what's best for the city of Waterville.
Anybody have anything to add to that from a council standpoint?
He summed it up pretty good. I'm glad he touched on the 2-year requirement, because that trips some newer people up. And I think what the original charter signers were thinking, the longer you're in the community, the more you know what's going on, and have a kind of sense of what the people want. So, as far as backgrounds, I know I'm a general contractor. Todd's a general contractor. You've got a jewelry store owner and an attorney and
I'm retired.
Retired and an engineer. So I mean, I think it takes all to help run a city. Obviously, I'm not the big finance guy, but I can fill in my other strong suit somewhere else.
Great.
So if you're interested, please. Obviously, we only have one person in the next election, so there's always a need.
Another thing that it's probably an unwritten rule, if you want to call it. Many of us that were elected were on a committee prior to becoming elected, so you get a chance to understand how government works. And Tony, he admitted it. He's only 1 vote, and like I am. So you have to work as a team. You have to agree to disagree. But at the end of the day, the citizens elect us and make a decision. And we do it based on the best information we have up until that point. And if we've got to change it next week or 2 weeks or a year from now, we will. But we try to follow the code. No, we don't try. We do follow the code. And then we base it on our best information available.
A lot of it is finance. A lot of it is understanding the numbers, because it is a little complicated. Government finance is different than, I worked for American Express for 30+ years. The finance was nothing like not in government. It's just a different way of doing the books, and you learn it. I went to finance meetings for about 2 years before I ran for council or was appointed to council, because I really wanted to understand the numbers. So that's a really important part of the job, and you get a sense of that being on a committee. So if you have an area of interest, whether it's trees or the parks or public safety, apply to be on a committee, because you'll be working within a budget that we work with every day, sitting on council. That would be my recommendation.
Great. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Karen. Next is another asset to our community, and that's the Chamber of Commerce. We have Michelle Smith with us tonight. Michelle, please name and address.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Michelle Smith. I am the Executive Director of the Waterville Chamber, 122 Farnsworth in Waterville. I am just here tonight to talk about some upcoming events we have. We have Rock the Block, not this Saturday, but the Saturday after, June 21st. It will be downtown Waterville on South 3rd Street like we have had in the past. We have, our headliner band is the Red Carpet Crashers. So we have something a little bit new this year, trying something different. This Skittlebox thing got a little bit old, so hopefully we're gonna have something different this year. The rest of it's pretty much the same. So, but that is, again, not this Saturday, next Saturday. So hopefully, I know a lot of you have been there in the past, and you're always there, Larry.
I like a good concert.
I know. So I just wanted to talk about that event that we have on the 21st, and then while I'm up here too, we have our Waterville Chamber monthly luncheon, not this Tuesday, next Tuesday on the 17th. We do that once a month, third Tuesday of the month. This month will be Pat McCauley, who is the District Deputy Director of ODOT. And one of the subjects he'll be touching upon is the Roche de Boeuf Bridge, and giving everybody an update. But that is, again, not tomorrow, but next Tuesday at 11:30, our monthly luncheon, and we have registration up on our website. So that's pretty much it. Any questions for me?
Remind us the date of the golf tournament.
I don't know, offhand. July, it's the last Friday of July. So July, what is that, the 26th? There you go, 26th.
Friday?
And I'll be back next month to talk about that.
The Friday?
It's a Friday.
The
yeah.
25th.
So everybody can
25?
skip work and
25.
July 25th.
Yep,
So
better than being
golf on Friday, beer on Saturday.
Correct.
Well, golf and beer on Friday, and then
And
you
more
could do
beer on
beer and
Saturday.
on Saturday. Yes. Any questions for me, or?
All right, thank you. Thanks for all you're doing.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next is Terry Masucci, who is going to have some remarks.
Hi, Terry Masucci. Can you hear me? Terry Masucci, 1101 Waterville, Monclova Road, Waterville. This is a pre-announcement to another event that I tried to, I wouldn't call it an event, it's just a fun thing to do. This is the second year I've teamed up with the Anthony Wayne Schools to hide the general. We hide 25 of these. This started because I saw some 3D figures and I learned what an STL file was. Then I had to find out who does that, and contacted the high school the art teacher there, Brian Decay, knew exactly what I was talking about. He created the general. I go around with help from others to hide 25 of them for Family Week. That's when there's no sports, etc. Things go. It's a break from all activities that way, so that the kids have time. So that runs June 29th through July 6th. That they will have these days to find the 25 generals, and then they take a picture, they paint them, they can do whatever they want, and then the schools has where you can send in where you found it. So the kids looked forward to it last year, so this is the second year doing it. That's it.
Questions for Terry? All right, thank you.
Thanks.
At this time, this is the, I guess, continuation of citizens' comments. I'm going to invite the 4 candidates that are here tonight. If you would like to say something now, we are going to be having an executive session a little later, and we'll be doing some interviewing at that point. But you're welcome to come up to the podium now, and we will start, if you're interested, with Terry, ladies first, if you want to make some comments.
My name is Terry Masucci, 1101 Waterville, Monclova
You're still
Road.
at that same address? All right.
I am still at the same one I was about 30 seconds ago. I've lived here about 10 years. I really love Waterville. I just am blessed to have found a spot here. Have to say it didn't start that way, but I've learned to absolutely love it. I came from Menor. I mean, I could read you off my letter that I sent to you. I do a lot of things in the community. I try to stay as involved as I can. I still work part-time, and I've been at my job for almost 30 years, but I work remotely. I moved here from Menor, and let's see.
Tree commission member.
I am on the tree commission as well. I'm learning a lot of things about trees, things I didn't know about trees. But it's all very interesting. I mean, people that have been on that committee have so much knowledge about trees. It's more than I thought. My mom grew up working at a nursery, didn't teach me about trees though. So it's been wonderful living here, and I appreciate the opportunity. Any questions for me while I'm up here?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next in alphabetical order is Rod Fry.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Rod Fry, 452 South River Road, Waterville. Yes, I have submitted my letter of application to fill the vacant seat here in City Council, and it's kind of interesting. I put some things together today. God, I feel old. I've been a resident of Waterville for 38 years now. Been in the banking and finance business for 44 years. I've spent a lot of years hanging around here on city, here at the city. Probably going back to 2012, I started coming to many of the plan commission meetings and council meetings and just wanting to know what the heck's going on. And then about 2017, I think Mayor Brody said, we're gonna put this guy to work. And she put me on the Charter Review Committee. So that was my first act here. And I chaired that committee, and we did what we were supposed to do as far as reviewing the charter. And then in 2018, I filled a vacant seat here at City Council. And then in 2019, I was reelected to a new 4-year term, served on City Council until 2023. During that time, I've been on the Finance Committee. I was part of the Fallen Timbers Union Cemetery District from the initial committee that was formed between the township and White House and Waterville to decide if that made any sense. And then I chaired that from 2019 till, I was on the board of trustees and chaired that until December of 23. So presently a board member of the CIC of Waterville, which is formerly the Waterville Economic Development Corporation. I still am a member of the Waterville Finance Committee, and I've chaired that committee for the last year and a half. And so I mean, I've done a lot of things here at the city. I enjoy the city. I want to be involved if I can. If I can help, I think my background in banking and construction and everything would serve the city well. I could help out with a lot of those areas as I have in the past. So, any questions, or I'm sure we'll have more later. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Rod.
Yeah, thanks, Rod.
Next up is Tim Guzman. Tim?
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to say thank Terry for all of her hard work in making things fun in Waterville. I know my grandchildren enjoy it. Tim Guzman, 316 Ridge Point Circle. I have been around here for a while. Actually, my wife and I have resided in Waterville for 41 of our 43 years of marriage. We first lived on Village Parkway, and then we built a house on Ridge Point Circle, and we've been there ever since. And we love this community, and so does the rest of the Guzman family. You got my daughter and son still reside in Waterville, and my grandchildren are on Maple with my daughter. So I guess when it comes to Waterville, the Guzman family's all in, and we love the city. Let me get my readers out here for a minute. First of all, a little background on my corporate world. I just retired about 3 years ago as a senior sales director for a global automotive and industrial company. I manage the global sales team, Germany, Japan, France, Italy. I've been there, done that, and worked with these individuals and led the team. It was a $100 million business that I led. Again, all good things have to come to an end, so I retired 3 years ago. Now I currently volunteer for the American Red Cross as a blood logistics driver, and anybody looking for some fun, we're always looking for volunteers, and also Mobile Meals of Toledo, in which I deliver meals to Anthony Wayne residents, actually. I'm no new face to Waterville Council. I served 16 years. I was elected 4 different times. I didn't get appointed. I was elected, and I served from 1996 to 2011. I served under a great team. I served under Chuck Payton, Mayor Chuck Payton, Mayor David Meyerholtz, Mayor Derek Marin, and Mayor Lori Brody. Some of you might have remember some of these individuals. All extremely wonderful mayors, and of course Tim Pedro. I haven't served for Tim, but I certainly have served with Tim on council, and some of the other council members up here. I also served on the Comprehensive Planning Committee in 2012. I know that that's being updated right now. Excited about that. I look back at the 2012 Comprehensive Plan today, and there's 11 strategies, key strategies that we said we wanted back in 2012 as a community. And you know something? You guys did a great job of implementing those or getting those underway. And I bet you in 2025 Comprehensive Plan, they're going to see some similar things, because it's just the right things for Waterville, I think. One thing I'm really proud about serving this community, when it comes to public safety, I've been on the Public Safety Committee for 30 years. I was talking to Bob Cronin earlier, and he said he's got 30 years of service with the Waterville Fire Department. Well, him and I came on about the same time. So I've been on the public safety side for 30 years, and I love it. And that's what I like about this community is we support our fire and our police, and it's the fabric of the community. That's what makes us the community that people want to move to. Do I have a vision for the city? Yeah. I think Scott Johns talked about it earlier about the some of the warehouses downtown. We've got a couple properties that I know that we need to work with too. The old Valera gas station, the Sunoco BP, and the Rite Aid. I mean, these are all things that we need and we can influence. We don't certainly make those final decisions, but we can certainly influence those to be a better thing and a better area for the town. I also have got one other big thing, and then I'm done. Downtown cell phone service. Take a look at your cell phones right now, and try to get a phone call out. Now I know that council has been working on this, but I think we need to take it to a higher level. This has got to get serious, and what I mean by serious is we got to get the FCC involved. We got to get the carriers involved, and we got to tell people higher up that we demand service. And if we can't have service downtown in our public community, it doesn't matter if we have businesses down here. If someone can't pick up a phone and call, that's a problem. So we need to fix it, and we can do it. I'm sure, council, you guys can do it. So anyhow, the other thing is obviously US 24 bypass. What a wonderful opportunity we've got out there, and I know that with the comprehensive plan, we'll get that thing done too. So yeah, I look forward to if it's not this time, hopefully in the future. I look forward to serving on Waterville Council again and bringing the years of service and experience I've got. And Tim Guzman, right for Waterville. Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, that was my first slogan back.
We recognize it.
Thanks, Tim.
I also received word late Friday that Matt Harold, who's a candidate, he informed our administrator on Friday they would not be able to make it here tonight. And so he and I text messages over the weekend, and as early as this morning, I thought maybe we could do a phone call in, but that was not possible. So that is why Matt is not here tonight. However, we have our last candidate, and Keith Gregelski. If you could please go to the podium, state your name and address and your comments.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, Council, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Keith Gregelski. I live at 27 Mattituck Way here in Waterville. I've been a proud resident for 14 plus years. Grew up in Toledo, Ohio, and started a family there. And when my son was getting about school age, decided it was time to get out of Toledo for a variety of reasons. And my wife grew up in Waterville, and her mother still lives there, still lives here. So we decided Waterville's the place. So we came down here, great schools, close-knit community, safe, and loved it ever since. I've been working 17 years at the Toledo Refining Company, formerly the Sunoco Refinery. I've been heavily involved in our local union. I served on the executive board as a trustee for a number of years. I was a shop steward for a number of years, so I'm familiar with parliamentary procedure a bit. I love the community, love the town, love the people, and I think with him going to college in the fall, I'm hoping some free time should open up, and it's about time I give some back. So I'm here, ready to do the work.
Okay.
Thank you. Any questions?
All right, thank you. Oh, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
So I've got a couple comments I'm going to make because I said later on we're going to go into executive session and talk to each candidate. First of all, thank you all for taking time to write a letter of interest to council. Council takes this as a serious matter. It's a serious responsibility of appointing a new council member. I mentioned earlier that the citizens elected us, and now they've elected us to fulfill the selection and appointment of a new candidate. On March 17th, I remember that day, St. Patrick's Day, I took a phone call from Tony Garver. Because of his high integrity, Tony wanted to meet with me as soon as possible and in person so he could explain to me that he would be moving and had to step aside for council. So effective May 13th, as I mentioned, 2025, Tony's seat became vacant. According to our charter, council has 30 days to fill the seat, and so by the law, council needs to appoint a replacement tonight, or if council is unable to select one, then the mayor will make that determination. We'll then continue with our agenda a little bit later tonight, and then later in the program, meeting rather, we will go into executive session for interviewing the four candidates that are here today. Again, we're following our charter. Eligible candidates had to be residents of the city for 2 years and obviously able to vote. So with that said, we will move on to the rest of our agenda. Next is our staff report from our administrator, John.
Thank you, Mayor. Council has a copy of my report. We are coming to the end of our 2012 comprehensive plan update, so that will be being forwarded on to the City Planning Commission at their July meeting, and then it would be forwarded on to council for final consideration. The city has been working with the Lucas County Port Authority on developing property off of Neapolis Waterville Road. The city approved a plat. They approved a design of the road, the water, the sewer, the sanitary utilities, and we received notice from the Ohio Department of Development that they did receive a grant for infrastructure improvements to this new industrial park, and the grant was $1,182,760. So that'll go a long way to getting this project to fruition. So that's great news. And the city also received a small grant of $8,863 for a intersection rectangular rapid flashing beacon. So that's a crosswalk. It lights up when you cross, and that would be on Village Parkway and Canal Road. And we replaced the water line on Canal Road. If anyone noticed, we did all the potholes on Canal Road recently, and then next year we'll resurface Canal Road. So that's one more project there. We also have our Food Truck Tuesdays, so that's the Anthony Wayne Arts Commission is putting that on. So the first one is tomorrow, and that's at 5:30 to 8 o'clock in Conrad Park. Council has any questions?
Council, start with Vice Mayor Duncan.
And the band is 38 Days, is that the name of the band? I think something like that. So, no, I hope everybody comes out to the Eats and Beats tomorrow. It should be good weather, and we have I think eight food trucks are coming. It's more than ever before. We made room for them when we repaid, so it should be a good day. So I hope to see everybody out there. That's it.
Councilmember Rotek.
I was just going to ask John on that rectangular rapid flashing beacon, which is, right in my neighborhood, as you might know. Anyway, that will face Canal or Village Parkway, the beacon. The crosswalk is marked from...
It'll be crossing Canal at Village Parkway.
Crossing Canal.
Yeah.
From the new sidewalk down to the new path, okay. And that's activated with a button, or is it flashing all the time?
But it's activated with a button, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Will that cover the cost? $8,000?
It's going to cover the equipment. We will have to pay for the installation.
All right. Thank you.
Todd?
John, I just saw some work being done at Parker Square. Are they replacing lights or something over there? Yeah, they are replacing the lights in the plaza. They were vandalized over the winter, and the cost of replacing the lights is more than the cost of just installing concrete and covering up the trench. So that's what we're doing. So what you saw was a saw cut. So we're saw cutting out a trench, and then we'll fill it in and just kind of move forward there, I guess. So.
Okay. Todd, or anything? So just a couple things. I want to reiterate John's good news that he sent out to council last week and just mentioned it. This is an example of working in cooperation with our partners. In this case, the Toledo-Lucas County Port Authority. They own the 48 acres of land behind our industrial park, and we supported that grant application, but it just takes time to get that all in place. But I think with that grant for that roadway, you'll probably see some activity out there fairly soon. And then I know it was mentioned about the downtown. Sound like an old Irish song here. We do have a downtown redevelopment district. We do have an application in place with the state of Ohio. Unfortunately, it's taken more time than we expected, but to me, once that is up and running, there's going to be funding. It's going to encourage, in this case, those districts to be modernized and clean up. So momentum will happen, but we're just kind of stuck in second gear at the moment. And then lastly, I did take a couple phone calls, and I had not had a chance to mention this to our administrator, but there's been some community discussion about, speaking of crosswalks and yellow cautious lights, there's got to be some reason for it, yellow being red, but a couple citizens have asked me to look into perhaps seeing if we can't put red flashing lights at crosswalks versus yellow, and I don't know what the requirements are, so if we could look into that. And then lastly, there was a young student hit by a car about 4 weeks ago, and I'm understanding he's on the road to recovery, but it was unfortunate. He was doing the right thing, pushed the button, waited a few minutes or a few seconds, crossed the light, and unfortunately was hit by an automobile. So that's all I have, and we talked about some other downtown activities as far as properties. Rest assured, council is aware of it. We've had some numerous conversations, and hopefully before too long we'll have some positive announcements on downtown old buildings. All right. Now we will go on to our law director.
No report this evening.
Finance director.
Mayor, I'm going to do this last report here, and I'll let our new finance director take over hopefully at the next meeting. Council has a copy of the first quarter 2025 budget and finance report. So this covers the period of January 1st through March 31st, 2025. This reflects our original budgeted revenues and appropriations, and that was approved by council on January 27th, 2025, and we have had one budget amendment since that was approved. The report was presented to the Finance Committee at their May 30th, 2025 public meeting, and they recommended approval. In terms of revenue, the city, we're at about a quarter of the year in 2025. So real estate taxes are at 68%. The general fund in total is at 30%. Municipal income taxes are at 25%. Local government revenue, so we get revenue from the county and from the state of Ohio directly, and those are both at about 25%. With every property tax distribution, we also receive property tax reimbursements from the state, and those are at 62%. Charges for fire services, so we haven't received our fire service payment from the township as of March, so that came in May, actually, so that's about the right period of time there. Billing for rescue services, those are at 49%. Charges for plan review, that's at 917%. So we had a lot of subdivision activity, and we had 3 plats that came in, and as I've mentioned to council before, we do bill and get reimbursed for inspections and things like that. So that was a lot more than we expected there. Investment earnings and the refuse fee are about at 25%. So dedicated funds, these are funds that we use for a specific purpose: street construction, maintenance repair fund, state highway fund, permissive tax fund. So those are all associated with street construction, maintenance, repair. That's at about 29%. Parks and green space, 53%. Every year we usually have transfers. We transfer from the general fund to various funds. So those that was something that was budgeted this year. That was at 50%. The police pension and fire levy funds, 67%, 48% respectively. 5-year capital fund, so that is also 75% of our income tax goes into the general fund, 25% goes into the 5-year capital fund, so that's at about 25%. We received a grant for police vests, so that was our main grant that we received in the first quarter. Again, investment earnings are on schedule there, and then we also had a transfer of $665,000 into the 5-year capital fund from the general fund. We're spending a little more money on street construction than we usually do. Water and sewer revenue funds, those are at 21%, 19% for water and sewer. So we bill a month behind, so that kind of gives you an idea. Those quite aren't at 25%. Water capital and sewer capital funds for our projects and debt service, 20% and 41%. Overall, in terms of revenue, as of March 31st, the city collected $4,779,636, so that's about 32% of budget. General fund expenditures, so that's in your report, that's pages 8 through 17. General fund expenditures are at 34% of our budget. Dedicated fund expenditures, street construction, maintenance, repair, state highway, permissive tax, 22%. Parks and green space, 32%. Police pension, 2%. Fire levies at about 20%. Employee retirement benefit fund, so we haven't paid out any employee retirement benefits at retirement. We don't expect any this year, but we didn't have any so far this year. The American Rescue Plan Act, so that was, everything was appropriated and spent last year, so we did have a small carryover that came through for the early part of this year. Overall, the dedicated funds are at 21%. 5-year capital expenditures, 21% of budget. We purchased some police vehicles and some fire equipment, so those are at 44 and 20% of budget. Buildings and grounds, we purchased our lift so we could put up all our banners, so we did that. So that was an expenditure there. We've done some engineering work for our street paving and repair. Water and sewer operating revenues, 18%, 21%. And then water and sewer capital is at water at 7% and sewer is at 50%. So we had our final payment of our River Road sewer pumping station improvement project, so we paid that in 2025. Overall, the total expenditures as of March 31st, 2025, $3,937,646. In the report, we have a breakdown of the actual budgeted revenues and expense. That's on page 28. And then the general fund is broken up into personnel and operating costs on page 29. Our general fund balance was $5,885,326, and that was at the end of March 2025. So it was a decrease of about $100,000 from the beginning of the year. Our expenditures are within a 2 to 3 month average for the general fund, so we have a good position in terms if we ever want to go out for a short-term no issue. So I guess all in all, the first quarter budget report is, I guess, as expected for this time of year. If anyone has any questions.
Questions for the administrator?
I would say, once again, John, it's good budgeting. Underestimating revenue and overestimate expenses, and that's exactly what it is. This is very consistent with what you've done every year, so thank you.
Except I'll take exception when he said that they spent a little bit more on roads than normal. We never spend enough for roads. Thanks, John.
Yeah, John, thanks for
And our,
getting that done while doing your administrator job. So, I mean, that's,
You're welcome.
That's a lot of hard work.
all right, next, our treasurer's report. You got more?
Yeah, I don't want to prolong the agony here, but I also have the end of the month report for April 2025. So I wanted to just go over that real quick.
Why don't you go over that report?
Real quickly, Mayor,
Can we take back our thanks?
we ended the month of April with a total cash balance of $12,781,083. We did have some investment activity, so typically what we do, we redeem our CDs, notes, things like that. When they come due, we reinvest those, so we did have some activity there. Our RETA income tax collection, you have your report for May, or excuse me, well, May and April collection. I think I mentioned at the last council meeting, April was a little bit short of where we were last year. April of 2025, we had a collection of $418,395. So that was $56,000 less than we collected in April of 2024. In May, we collected $671,870, and again, that was about $47,937 less than we collected in May of 2024. I did do a little bit of analysis there, and we had some significant refunds in April and May of 2025. So that I think accounts for that. And so I took a look at the I guess people are going back to work. They're not working at home, things like that. You got to go back to work. You got to go back to the office, and that actually is, I think, part of this refund trend is maybe, they pay it ahead or they paid estimates, and they had to go back to the office, and that was in another taxing district, so they got refunds. So these were individual refunds in April and May. We actually had a $52,000 shift in our work from home pattern back to the office. So hopefully this trend won't continue. I think we're getting to the end of it here, but there is a definite shift from 2022 to 2024. We had a $61,000 increase in withholdings from people working at home as opposed to working in the office. So I think we're swinging back the other way, and people are going back to the office, and maybe that's in Toledo or Maumee or wherever, and their withholdings are going to the place where their office is. So that was kind of an interesting occurrence there, but not good for us. But hopefully things will stable out a little bit, and we'll get back to normal.
Okay.
Council has any questions on that?
Just one quick one, John, if I may, and that is, and I know you've told us what this is for before, but check to Farnsworth Investors.
Yes, that is our TIF payment, so we have a tax increment financing district, and that goes to pay the debt service for the sewers, roadway, water lines in the, Kroger, Speedway, the bank area in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that is.
That's the last one then? We won't have that again?
Well, we have 2 a year,
Oh, 2 a
and
year.
I believe the TIF agreement is a 30-year agreement, and we're like at year 18 or 19.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Sorry.
All right, next we'll have Steve Schultz, our treasurer.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Since you gave John time for the April, maybe I don't even really have to be here, so, since he already gave the April report. But anyway, we do have the month of April reconciled. And while I can usually just get up here and these reports are usually pretty easy, I just say everything's up over last year and in my report, it's what we would expect. We are down a little bit this month, only about 80,000. But again, some of it, John, is to your point, we had a $118,000 TIF payment, and we had a $100,000 contractor payment that came in, so it's nothing to be alarmed about. Our general fund is still up a little bit over last month, and our water and sewer are kind of inching down as we go here, so we're going to have to kind of start keeping an eye on that a little bit tighter. The other thing that I think we need to keep a little bit of an eye on is to John's report with the RETA report. Our net profits collections from businesses are down about 25% over the same time frame last year. So I don't know if businesses aren't as profitable right now. It could just be a timing issue in terms of when we're going to start collecting money, but that's also something that we're just going to kind of keep an eye on here as we go. So we'll keep you updated as we go on that. So with that, that's the end of my report.
Questions for Steve? All right,
Thank you,
thank you. Next, we'll have communications from council. I know I kicked it off a few minutes ago, but we'll go to Vice Mayor Duncan.
Nothing additional.
John?
John mentioned it, but I did attend the Finance Committee meeting on May 30th, and indeed we approved the quarterly report, had some good discussion, and that's it.
Good.
Chaired by
Wayne?
Mr. Fry, I might say.
John, I took a call about overgrown lots, commercial properties in general, mainly the easements, so I don't know. I know Katie's kind of working on something there, so if we can, I know in the past I think we've had to call like the Meyer property and ask them to mow or plow it down, but.
So I did speak to the property owner on Prey, and they were going to have that mowed.
Okay, perfect.
So hopefully that'll happen here any day now.
Gotcha, thanks.
All right.
So, John, just I think that's a good segue into what I was going to ask. I did notice overgrown properties as well, both residential and commercial. I know City of Toledo, when it gets to a certain length, they send people out to cut it, and then they send a bill. Have we ever thought about doing something like that?
Well, we have. We've done that. We've billed miners for their property, and so yeah, we do have a property on South Second that we're going to be sending a letter to, and I seriously doubt they'll cut their grass, and we'll cut the grass and send them a bill or bring it back to council and have it assessed to their property tax.
Okay, thanks.
Anthony?
I just have something quick. So, it's kind of more of in response to, we had a couple people at a couple separate meetings, and I did see some things on social media regarding the signs that are in Prairie Park and that small pie-shaped triangle. Being on Parks and Recreation, I did take into consideration a little bit back and forth on it, and it's one of those things that I want to be sensitive about it, because I think that we're all very appreciative of the specific group that handles that for us or volunteers their time, and I understand not every single person that might volunteer time would want to have recognition or whatever it may be, but this specific one does. And like I said, I'm very, very appreciative that they take their time every year to maintain those for us. What I will say though, I did see some comments back and forth on social media and things like that, and to me the signs there do look very out of place. And I think the unfortunate thing for them is there's a big sign there, relatively big, right, up next to the Prairie Park sign that I'm talking about. The thing with that though is you can't read what's on that sign when you're driving by. You know, you'd be able to read it by walking up to it, but you can't read it when you're driving by. So my resolution to it would be, I saw online there's these pretty classy looking plaques, if you will, that kind of sit flush on the ground. And I mean, I think as a city we should just pay the $75 per plaque times 2 and put their name on it, so that way someone walking by can see it, but it's not that obstruction in the, you know, in the middle of the landscaping that, number one, you can't read, number two, it's not the best looking. I think it would be a nice token of gratitude for us just to pay to have a couple nice plaques made that dedicate that little area and would sit flush on the ground. That's just thoughts and concerns, I guess, to address.
I agree. We talked about that a little bit at the Parks Committee meeting, and it's not so much the sign itself or the wording on the sign. It's the placement of the sign directly underneath the Prairie Park sign. And
Well, I don't think a sign like that.
And you can't read it.
You can't read it, and it's not really a permanent sign. It's a very like passive sign, I guess, if you will.
Just looks cheap.
But what I will say though is, they definitely deserve the recognition, and I
all
will
of our volunteers do, no matter where it's.
Yeah, absolutely. But I will stand up for them and say, they want that, they can have that. But I do think it needs to be a little bit more permanent and a little bit optically classy looking.
Why don't we let our administrator review that? I have mixed feelings. You know, nice to recognize people do things. What I think looks nice and what they think looks nice are probably different, but.
Well, and I didn't come up with this. I'm just responding to it.
No, it's good, and I think it goes back to when Rotary wanted to build a new sign. I said, as long as it's branded, it's kind of the same, maybe same principle here. So let's have our administration look into that and come back to us. Anything else? The only other thing I have, since I spoke out of turn, our Rooster Booth committee been meeting off and on. We had a meeting last week. I was not able to be at the meeting, but I know it took place with several folks, and there's still work being done. Bottom line is, just need to find an owner for that bridge if there's going to be some successes going forward. So we got dedicated volunteers again, doing a good job, but there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle that we have to maintain. And then lastly, our Inclusive Park Committee, meeting tomorrow down at Conrad Park in conjunction with the food trucks and whatnot, so that is continuing to move forward. Alrighty, next is new business, and that is referral to the Planning Commission. This is the text amendments to the Planning and Zoning Code regarding advanced technology centers. John, would you please elaborate?
Thank you, Mayor. There's been a lot of interest, and then we have I guess a current construction project in Wood County building a advanced technology or a data center, and our zoning code doesn't address that type of particular land use. So like to refer this to the Planning Commission to get started on developing regulations for this potential land use if it would happen to be brought to the city of Waterville.
Okay, so this is going to go to Planning Commission for their review and action. So I need a motion to refer this to the Planning Commission.
So moved.
I'll go with ladies first. Mary Duncan.
Second.
Second, Todd Borowski. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next is ordinance number 0525, a zoning change from agricultural A1 to mixed-use business district C4, and a conditional use permit application for a proposed semi-truck fueling terminal, parking facility, and convenience store located at 9055 Waterville Swanton Road. The first reading is scheduled for tonight, June 9th. The second reading scheduled for June 23rd. Third reading and public hearing and legislative action and administrative action is scheduled for July 28th, 2025. John, did you want to elaborate?
Thank you, Mayor. So this issue was considered by the Planning Commission at their June 2nd, 2025 public meeting. So their recommendation was to deny the request for the zoning change from agricultural to mixed-use business district C4 commercial, and conditional use permits for the construction of a convenience store and fuel service facility parking area for commercial trucks exceeding 7,000 pounds for the property located at 9055 Waterville Swanton Road. Their rationale was the request doesn't comply with the city's current 2012 comprehensive plan. There's criteria listed in the zoning code, section 114805, that we use to consider conditional use permit requests, and the proposed development was contrary to the city's zoning ordinance. So council has a copy of my report, but just to summarize, this portion of the city is located within the US 24 concept area, and I guess one of the essential goals of this particular area is to maintain the high character of community development through the promotion of orderly development that maintains traffic safety and roadway capacity. So the applicant did submit a traffic impact study, and the study indicates that this development would bring 6,724 more vehicle trips per day, which is about a 48% increase of the current traffic on Waterville Swanton Road, which is 13,920 vehicles per day, and that's the average. So they found that to be not in agreement with this particular aspect of the comprehensive plan. And of the 6,724 vehicles, 500 to 700 of those would be semi-trucks, which can weigh 80,000 pounds, and this proposed development is also proposing a truck scale, so I guess they can see if they're overloaded. So that was part of the development. The other thing is, once this development was built, the applicant's traffic impact study indicated that on the eastbound 24 off-ramp, if you're making a north-left turning movement, you could have up to a 38-minute delay at this unsignalized intersection. So the applicant isn't proposing a signal improvement at this intersection. They're proposing a signal improvement at their entrance to their proposed development. And it's proposed in the traffic impact study, but it's not shown on their site plan. So that was an issue there. And the review of this particular signal indicated that it doesn't meet the spacing requirements for traffic signals according to the ODOT Manual of Access, and then also the Lucas County Engineer's Office. So that was an issue in terms of the traffic management of the development. Another issue with this development is one of the other goals of the comprehensive plan is diversifying and strengthening the city's income tax base. So, in exchange for a 50% increase in the traffic volume on Waterville Swanton Road, the city gets fairly low-paying and mostly part-time jobs. Another aspect of the development is this particular parcel is one of 3 parcels owned by the same property owner. The sale of the parcel that fronts on Waterville Swanton Road would essentially landlock the other 2 parcels that the property owner owns, which are over 58 acres in size. So the transfer and ownership from the Tilton frontage parcel to Quick Trip, you would be creating two non-conforming lots that are over 58 acres in size. And again, there's no access on a public roadway, so that also would diminish their value in terms of economic development and further erode the city's tax base. And then looking at the criteria for approval for conditional use permit applications, there's four standards that the Planning Commission looked at, and their opinion was this development didn't meet those either. So they have recommended the denial of the request to council.
So, thank you, John. So we will move on because we'll be another reading June 23rd and the public hearing legislative action on July 28th. Next is, well, I guess we need no, we don't need anything of that. Next is Resolution 2225, a resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to enter into an agreement with Waterville Play Shop for the lease of the former fire station at 808 Michigan Ave. John?
Thank you, Mayor. The Waterville Play Shop that is currently leasing the former fire station, their lease is up here in August, and they're interested in renewing the lease for another 2 years according to the current terms and conditions of the lease, so those aren't changing. They are responsible for liability insurance. They're responsible for repairs that are less than $10,000. They're responsible for utility costs, and other than that, there's no proposed change to the lease, and I think they've been good tenants and utilize the space for a community organization, which is a good thing.
So I need a motion to accept Resolution 2225.
So moved.
So moved. Anthony Bruno, need a second?
Second.
Second, John Rosick. Any more discussion? The only thing I would say is I know they're a good tenant, and it's a nice reuse of an old building. I think the Boy Scouts, Troop 101, that helped save that many, many years ago. So we have a motion to accept 2225. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, in our executive session, this is the conference with the law director per Ohio Revised Code 121.22G1 and Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G2 to consider the appointment of a public official and the purchase or sale of property for public purposes. Need a roll call? Need a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Mr.
Second.
Wagner, need a second?
Second.
Second, John Rosick. Roll call.
Mrs. Duncan?
Yes.
Mr. Borowski?
Yes.
Mayor Pedro?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Rosick?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
So we will go into executive session. We will ask our candidates to come in alphabetical order. However, we'll start with Terry Masucci, ladies first. So give us a minute, Terry, and we'll come out and get you, okay?